June 1989. The Soviet Union has been defeated in Afghanistan. The USA is spending billions of dollars on a space-age defense against nuclear weapons. Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev is relaxing the rules at home. As the decade draws to a close, it looks as though the USSR is becoming less of a threat. Other communist states start to simmer with revolution.
These demonstrations took place just 1 year ago, filmed by an underground group. They were stopped by riot police.
After 40 years of oppression, Hungary is the first country to push back. Then another joins. An electrician is organizing resistance in Poland.
Fate made him a lucky survivor. Born poor, the charismatic strike leader was irrepressible in breaking the communist hold on Poland's trade unions and founding Solidarity.
Lech Walesa created Solidarity in 1980 in a shipyard in Gdansk. The name will come to symbolize the fundamental changes about to erupt across Eastern Europe.
I think the potential for some form of conflict in Eastern Europe was actually pretty high.
Backed by an overwhelming vote of confidence, Poland's first elected president, Lech Wałęsa, swept through the gates of the Lenin shipyard in Gdansk to pay homage to his beginnings. Warmth and encouragement engulfed the former electrician who throughout the long and turbulent election campaign had invoked the aspirations of the workers.
It was a pretty heroic enterprise by those who were pushing the Solidarity movement, and it was a remarkable watershed.
He won their support. Now he must deliver the promises.
Moving away from the Soviet sphere of domination and giving up on socialism, which was imposed on them, I think is instructive. So as soon as anybody can get away, they run away.
And we've supported those efforts with a substantial aid package to Poland, trade benefits for Hungary. Important decisions have been made for freedom or reforms.
The USA has just elected a new president. The course of the Cold War is in the hands of George H.W. Bush.
What conditions would have to be met for you to have a summit with Gorbachev, and do you expect to have one in 1989?
It's interesting because there's a lot of hope now, a lot of anticipation. We don't want to dash the hopes, but I don't want to raise them to unrealistic heights.
Your attitude towards the Soviet Union seems to have shifted a bit since you became president, from deep skepticism to seeming acceptance of their intentions.
I don't think it's shifted as much as you think, Michael. I don't think it's shifted as much.
Despite the softer Soviet approach in Europe, Bush is expected to maintain the U.S. hardline attitude.
In dealing with the Soviet Union, I am going to continue to keep my eyes wide open. I will also say I want to see perestroika succeed. I want to see it succeed, not fail.
Perestroika sums up Gorbachev's vision for the Soviet Union. It stands for restructuring and is already creating a more open economy in government.
We meet at a time of great and historic change in the Soviet Union, in Europe, and around the world. Such profound change is unsettling, but also exhilarating.
Yes, indeed, we used to be enemies or almost enemies. Now we are maybe rivals, at least to some extent, and we want to become partners. We want to go all the way to become friends.
The Russians also host a party at their Washington embassy. On the menu is chicken Kiev and caviar. Food, wine, and friendship are flowing.
And you know, Americans and Soviets have often tended to think of our two countries as being on opposite sides of almost everything, including the opposite sides of the world. But we share an important northern border, and we are, in fact, next-door neighbors across the Bering Sea.
World-changing agreements are drawn up to break down trade barriers and reduce nuclear arms.
We're about to sign agreements concerning many areas of vital interest to our countries and to the world.
I would say that maybe this room has seen many important events and many agreements signed. But I think that what is happening now and what you have listed as the results of our work together represents an event of momentous importance, not only for our two countries, but for the world. And I would like also to shake your hand, Mr. President, so that we congratulate each other.
Within 6 months, a remarkable meeting takes place in Paris. Agreements are made on international security and cooperation. 34 nations are represented. They are from the East and the West. The Cold War is rushing to the finish line. The Iron Curtain dividing East and West is opening under the pressure for change. But not all Eastern Bloc nations are relaxing the reins. East Germany is keeping the doorway to freedom firmly closed. Then a cataclysmic event in East Germany is caused by a simple miscommunication. November the 9th, 1989. At a confused press conference, a Soviet minister named Garbinski is about to say the wrong thing under pressure.
The 9th of November, the meeting, the conference, was just like any other conference. No one expected anything spectacular to happen. Politburo member Garbinski made the statement that travel to the West will be permitted. The press was very aggressive and wanted to know when. When will that start? He couldn't remember, so he shuffled through his papers and he came across a draft that was not approved. But he said, right now. And the rest is history.
Border guards, known for their murderous behavior, refused to shoot escaping East Germans. Within 3 days, bulldozers are brought in and the ultimate symbol of the Cold War divide comes crashing down. The fall of the Berlin Wall causes jubilation, both in Germany and around the world.
Our civilization, whether it was Russia, Ukraine, Romania, that whole region had never known democracy.
In the Soviet Union itself, the new freedoms are not working quickly enough.
Every day, refugees gather outside government buildings, pleading for homes and food. Every day, the answer's the same. They're told the city's resources are already overstretched. Many have moved to workers' hostels on the outskirts of Moscow. 5 families to a room. Some people have been here for 2 years. Their demands are basic: for food, for medicine, for a place to die.
The Russian economy is barely able to produce enough to feed the people. Experts have called it a war economy, which can finance satellites and missiles, but can't produce enough soap, meat or other products.
They were really spending 40-50% of their GDP on military stuff, which was robbing their civilian economy of any future. Finally was what broke the back of the Soviet Union.
The Soviet economy has been crippled by the Cold War.
As a symbol of Gorbachev's commitment to disarmament, tanks were turned into plows.
Gorbachev believes in restructuring, but only so far. He is fighting to keep the USSR a communist state.
Overtures that are already starting to occur, where it was very clear that the Soviet Union was not going to survive.
Gorbachev hits the road again, this time not to give up weapons, but to ask for economic support.
London, where the flags were out for the leaders of the world's 7 richest nations. After a 3-month campaign of appeals to individual Western leaders, an invitation had been extended to the Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev to present his case for aid. Arriving in the heartland of capitalism, and despite the Soviet Parliament's backing for his economic reform plan, Gorbachev knew that many had criticized his visit to beg for foreign help.
The USSR is a nation of nearly 300 million people. Once the iron fist of central control is lifted, no one knows what will happen. The communist old guard stages a coup.
While we're still watching the situation unfold, and it still is unfolding, all is not clear, it seems clearer all the time that contrary to official statements out of Moscow, that this move was extra-constitutional, outside of the constitutional provisions for governmental change. Clearly, it's a disturbing development, no question about that, and it could have serious consequences for the Soviet society and in Soviet relations with other countries, including the United States.
When the Russian president returns, he is held under house arrest. Another ambitious politician stands up to the coup leaders, Boris Yeltsin.
Yeltsin became the most visible symbol of those bucking the system. The insider turned outsider attracted a huge following with his populist politics. People actually fought to get a chance to hear him at his public meetings.
The military claim Gorbachev is ill.
The coup, only 72 hours old, was crumbling. Troops were withdrawn from Moscow's center. The coup leaders were placed under arrest. For Mikhail Gorbachev, although never really ill, being held captive in his holiday dacha for 3 days took its toll.
Yeltsin is not a communist. He wants Russia to become a free market economy.
Yeltsin's promise to encourage free debate if elected made him popular.
On the 21st of December 1991, the document that ends the Cold War is signed. The Alma-Ata Protocol.
The latest crisis, the signing of an historic agreement between the 3 mighty republics, Ukraine, Russia and Belarus, effectively marked the formal death of the USSR and ended Gorbachev's personal vision of a wider political union.
The mighty superpower, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, is no more.
What would have seemed inconceivable only weeks before, the Communist Party was not only losing its position of power, but being disbanded.
But the roots of the Communist Revolution run deep. Vladimir Lenin, the original Russian revolutionary, has surviving relatives, including Olga Ilyanova.
It's our history, our culture. They're trying to throw away a whole chapter. You just can't do that. Just because they didn't like Napoleon in France, they can't pretend he didn't exist. He did, and so did Lenin.
Those comments from Lenin's surviving niece reflect a minority view in the new allegiance of sovereign states. Olga Ilyanova, holding this photograph of herself as a child with her uncle, sees little comfort in the future. She laments a union that's past and fears a disunity that may be lurking around the corner.
After a 70-year experiment, Russia's communist rule has ended. The Cold War is over.
Mikhail Gorbachev, the man who survived the August coup and changed the course of post-war history, was now a president without a union.
On Christmas Day 1991, the man who brought about the end of the Cold War walks away. The new president of Russia is Boris Yeltsin.